Introducing On the Horizon, a podcast by Horizon Resources Cooperative, supporting farmers and ranchers across Northwest North Dakota and Northeast Montana. Join host Levi Hall as he engages with agronomy experts, grain traders, and community leaders, sharing insights to help you make confident, informed decisions for your operations. From market trends to practical advice, we bring you the conversations that matter.
Horizon Resources, solutions for your success.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Horizon. This week, Sarah Erickson joins us once again. Sarah's coming to us from the Williston Agronomy Office at Horizon Resources, and she talks about some of the great programs, mainly the Farm QA program, and some of the great tools and features. So if you are thinking about this upcoming growing season and how you can make your life a little bit easier, call Sarah at the Williston Agronomy Office, 572-8354, and they'll be happy to set you up with this program. Excited for you to listen to this show.
Micro-Essentials has accounted for more than 1 billion additional bushels over commodity fertilizers in the last 15 years. Why? Because each granule holds just what your crops need in every single granule, giving you all the right nutrients to improve your yields. The Mighty Micro, packed with the good stuff.
Welcome back to another episode of On the Horizon. This week, we have back with us Sarah Erickson. Sarah, welcome back to the podcast.
It's nice to be back.
You geared up and getting ready for spring. We've had some wonderful weather here. So you guys are probably starting to get ready for getting busy.
Yeah, we're starting to see a few more customers pop in the front door to talk and getting a little more calls.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that time of year again already. So yeah, why don't we talk a little bit about some of the tools that we've got available this year? And let's start with Farm QA. So Farm QA is a great program. We've had you on the podcast before to talk about it and talk about all of its features, but let's get down and dirty with it. I know that you guys had a couple of training sessions that some of our member owners were able to come in and partake in, talking about some of the tips and tricks. Why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of some of the great things that Farm QA can help our members with?
Farm QA is my lifeblood for when I'm out scouting. It is when I first came up here and I needed to go find fields. That was how I found my fields. I spent a lot of that spring putting fields into the computer so that I knew where they were at. It is an advanced record keeping program for us and our growers too, if they choose to use it.
Yeah.
And I will say right away off, none of this gets shared with anybody except us internally. And if the growers choose to use this for their own record keeping, they only see their farm. They don't see anybody else's. So it's very private.
Yep.
No one knows what else is going on. We have the fields in there. And like when I'm going out to go scouting, I take the fields, and when I'm in it, we have, like I have the controller version, which is on the computer. That's why I have it sitting here today, so I can help remember what I need. On my phone, I have the app version that I use for scouting, and I go through like a field. We have these little templates on there for each different crop that we have, be it wheat, canola, lentils, peas. When I'm riding through the field, looking, seeing what's going on, I'm inputting the data into my app. And when I'm done with that field, if it's something that needs, like they need the information really quickly, I can submit it, print out a PDF, or take that PDF and send it as a text to either my growers, Audrey, John back at the office. I can make a recommendation tagged with that of what chemical I think we should apply. And then when I send it back to those guys, it's right there. They know, and it will tell exactly how many gallons you need. It'll say the rates. It's like everything is there. It's like a recipe card, just printed out, ready for you to go.
Yeah. Yeah. It's super easy. It's wonderful for the grower to work with, and it takes a lot of the thinking out of it. So at a time when you're so busy and you're up to your eyeballs in it, this is a great tool.
Yeah, it's so nice for it. My growers are so happy to have their scouting reports by the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's one thing that they really appreciate. And, or if like when I'm out in a field and they're calling me and they need to ask a question about something, I can pull it up and look it up and give them the answer right away.
Yeah.
The other thing is with all the fields in there, there's so many different ways to search and record and stuff. One of my favorite uses of this is doing crop rotation. I can go back and look and see what people have planted. We started keeping data in here from 22. So we've got data, and I've got guys that have backfilled too to 2016. We've got their crop history from that far back. We can go back and look and see if there might possibly be a restriction or an issue as to why you shouldn't plant lentils in that field versus something else.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to help you think ahead a little bit.
Yeah. And the other thing I use it for a lot is soil sampling. So, before, when I first started, we used to have to fill out these sheets from AgVice, and AgVice went and made it online. So now I can just print out the stickers. Well, now I can still print out the stickers from AgVice, but I scan the barcode and it will attach it to that field in Farm QA and upload it as soon as the soil sample results are done. Sometimes they could be in the computer faster than I get the results back.
Yeah.
And then we have them there. It's all part of the record keeping data repository aspect of Farm QA. Everything gets attached to that field. So we have a history of what the weeds were, what was seeded in it, what was sprayed on it, what the soil sample trends are doing. And it's all in one spot. It's not written on a piece of paper that got left in the tractor cab or put in a sprayer book that no one ever looks at after it's been done.
Yeah.
It helps with crop rotation, just like those questions that we always get. And I can go back and look and go, yeah, we can do that. Or no, you shouldn't do that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. What else can we do within this tool? Because it seems like one of the common themes is it's faster. We're making our growers more efficient. We're making ourselves more efficient. What else do we got in there?
There is, it'll tell us the weather, growing degree days for each weather station. We could have, say we wanted to know which fields had kochia on them. It would show us, and it would show us a percentage and trend lines, if it's going up, going down, sideways. So a lot of different things. One of the new features that they just came out with this year is a dashboard, and it shows for each farm. There's a nice pie chart in the beginning. It shows all your crops and how many acres you have planted to each thing as a really nice quick view. I have fun because I like to pull up the whole Horizon Resources, all of our locations, and look at it because it's so fun to see how many acres we cover.
Yeah.
And
that's just the ones that we're scouting on too. I mean, you take the ones that we're consulting on still, and that's even bigger map.
Yeah. I have one farm in here that is, it's my play farm.
Yeah.
I use that to show, when we're doing the training sessions.
Yep.
It's my demonstration farm.
Sure.
So then, when I'm back to the confidentiality thing, I'm not pulling up someone's farm and showing where acres are and stuff.
Yeah. So what other tools is that pretty much the main tools within Farm QA that we're using?
When we're scouting, when I'm out in a field, I take pictures of the field. Yeah. I can draw on the map. I can put markers, what they call them. If I want to say this spot here has a giant kochia patch. We need to be aware of this, or, hey, there's a drill skip.
Yep.
It's in this area here.
Right.
So that they could actually, if they're using the app, they can go out and drive exactly to where we have these markers at.
Yep.
We have a couple field trials that we're doing on some chemical combinations. we went out and marked those off using Farm QA to drive the borders, and we have them in there, and we can layer these over so that we know like where they're at. Soil sampling, when we sample, if we like to put our soil points in, like every spot that we drop a sample point down, we can put a marker there so that the next year, if we want to use those points again, we can use them. They're working on a lot of things. One of the things I like about this program is they're very adaptive to us users and things that we would like to have done.
Right.
So that's been wonderful.
So yeah, if you're using it, let us know your feedback, and we can give that to the team in Fargo that's built this app, and they know what's being asked for and what should be added.
All of our, like the reports, we can usually, besides like turning them into a PDF, they all can get exported to an Excel sheet. So like one of the things that I use the program for too is when people are trying to figure out crop rotations, they want to know what had been sprayed on their fields. I can go in, grab their spray records, turn it into an Excel file, and then we can sort it.
Right. It makes it very easy if you're doing your planning, come in and sit down with Sarah, and in 1 to 2 minutes, you guys are able to see where there's going to be some hurdles if you want to plant specific crops. And, you know, within a half hour, you can get your whole crop plan done.
Yeah. And I can put a crop plan in for somebody, and we can go from fertilizer to seed to chemical through the whole year. And I can put prices on it.
Yep.
And print it out, and it will tell you your whole budget for the year.
Wow. Very helpful.
Yeah. It would be like a banker's dream.
Yeah.
Because you aren't coming in going, well, I think this is how much it will cost. It will be, this is how much it's going to cost.
Right. Yeah. It's phenomenally helpful for when you're going in, getting your seasonal lines set up. Yeah. Easy tool.
Yeah. And I mean, we can also do it where I don't have to show the prices. So, you know, there's that aspect to it.
Right.
What our growers could use it for is kind of unlimited. I haven't had a lot of people that really want to make use of it. They're just happy with the fact that I'm getting them their scouting reports right away.
Right.
and can enter their chemical spray records for them. I'm trying to get them all to do the spray records themselves. It saved me a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's not hard. And if I get like a crop plan set up, all I have to do is push it through, and then they hit that button and turn it into a spray record, and voila, everything just goes to the cloud, and we're all happy campers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome. So one other tool that you wanted to talk about today was ADMS,
Yes.
Ag Data Management Solutions. Is that right?
Mapping solution.
Mapping solution. Okay.
So that's the program that I use through GK Technology for writing the prescriptions for our VRT fields.
Sure.
I use it for, in the fall, we'll make the zone fields. So when I'm out zone soil sampling, from there we go into the spring. Once I've got those already made, it makes it so much easier for me to just apply my fertilizer rates, whatever we're doing. We can do seed, we can do fertilizer. Slowly could get into doing VRT herbicide applications.
Sure. It's amazing to think that the management decisions that our growers are making today are going to affect the operations that their children are going to run someday. But essentially, that's what that map is proving to us.
Yes. And the other thing that I see a lot of is pipelines.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they show up, and it takes a long time for them to go away.
Yeah.
And if they sort of never go away.
Right.
There's just always a little bit of a line through a field where you can see where it's at. You know, not a bad thing, but that's where you can, you know, we're having the satellite imagery and doing variable rate applications on your field is cost effective, because you can see during that area, you aren't going to want to lay down a lot of fertilizer there because it's not going to be super productive.
Right.
You know, like our hilltops.
Yeah.
The mapping and all that it's so fun, because when you've been doing it for a while, you can watch the fields change.
Yeah. We want everyone to be as successful as can be.
Yes. Yeah. Success is my goal. And I've said it before. I tell all the guys every time we have a meeting, I'm super competitive. I don't get to release that barrel racing as much anymore because I'm busy in the fields. So it's the crops. I'm competitive with the crops. They'll come in and say, I want a 40 bushel yield goal. And I'm like, why not 50?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, push it. You know, there's some, and it's really funny because when we start looking at those, sometimes the amount of fertilizer that it takes to go from 40 to 45 is not that big a difference.
Right.
You're maybe a ton.
Right.
You know, so your cost wise really isn't going up that much.
Right.
And then when I get into doing variable rates on fields, it actually sometimes will back down how much fertilizer you're putting across that whole field versus doing a flat rate.
Yeah, you're just more accurate.
Yeah, we're more accurate.
Right. Well, Sarah, thanks so much for coming on the podcast today. I really appreciate you taking the time. And how does someone get a hold of you at the office if they're looking to get a hold of you and learn more about these programs?
Just call us at the Williston Agronomy Office. It is 572-8354.
Awesome. Well, once again, Sarah, thanks so much for coming on the podcast.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to On the Horizon. If our conversation today sparked your interest, make sure to subscribe to our podcast on your favorite platform. Stay connected by following @Horizon Resources Co-op on Facebook and Instagram, and explore the world of agriculture with us. We're excited to continue bringing you real conversations with Horizon Resources industry partners, member owners, and employees, discovering more about your local neighbors and community friends. Until next time, keep looking towards the horizon.
Horizon Resources, solutions for your success.
This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not to be used or considered as an offer or a solicitation to buy or sell commodities. Horizon Resources does not make any representation, warranty, or guarantee as to the completeness, accuracy, timeliness, or suitability of any information contained within any part of this podcast. Horizon Resources does not accept any liability for any loss or damage, including without limitation loss of profit, which may arise directly or indirectly from use or reliance on such information. Whilst the information provided has been obtained from sources believed to be reliable, Horizon Resources does not attest to its accuracy or completeness. Horizon Resources reserves the right to change any source without restriction or notice. The information herein is indicative only and is subject to change.